Sadak, an immersive experience enjoyed by all over these last couple of days. The players from the visiting team spending time with the midshipmen beyond their basketball counterparts. The entire student body, the brigade as it's known here. They went on ship simulators. They flew in helicopters. They got to see and hear what it means to be a student here and to go on to a life and career of service. This is the 11th iteration of the Veterans Classic. 2 participating teams have gone on to the Final Four. 37 have gone to the NBA. And delighted to welcome in my friend and yours, the coach, Steve Lapis. Gary Parrish will be with us in just a bit. And Lap, goosebumps every time we're here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the start of the year, and for me to be here for the 11th time, and every time I come, when I talk to the coaches, they talk about what a great experience it was for their kids to see how these midshipmen lead their day-to-day lives a lot different than what they do.
A lot of difference between these teams in terms of what's back.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This Boston College team is number 20 in least minutes returning. On the other hand, VCU comes back with a lot of experience and 2 high-quality transfers. So both teams coming from different places early in the season.
For BC, their blossoming star is Donald Hand Jr.
Yeah, they're hoping, Earl Grant's hoping he's making that big jump that people make from freshman to sophomore year. He's 6'6", 210, very strong and powerful, and a terrific three-point shooter. He only averaged 5 points a game last year, but looks like he's making that step. But he can take the ball to the basket. They'd like to see him get to the foul line a lot more this year.
For VCU, they take a lot of outside shots. It is year 2 for Ryan Odom, coming off a strong debut.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Ryan has won everywhere he's been. He had that great win against Virginia as a 16 seed over a 1. But they really are a team to be reckoned with.
They are the preseason favorite in the A-10, and they have a fearsome twosome in Max Shulga and Joe Bamisile.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Those 2 guys are 2 tremendous three-point shooters, as good as you're going to find in the country. Shulga is 43% from the three-point line. He can also put the ball on the floor, handles the ball for them a lot. And then on the other hand, you have Bamisile, who's a 37% three-point shooter, but is also a very, very good athlete and a tremendous defender. These 2 guys helped combine for so many threes. This team was 15 for 29 in their first game the other day from the three-point line.
Moments away from the second ever collision of BC and VCU, a 20-win team out of the ACC a year ago, and the preseason favorite of perennial power in the A-10 and VCU. Your starting lineups: Dion Brown starts for the first time this year, had suffered a broken nose shortly before their opener, came off the bench wearing a mask. No mask tonight, he can get buckets. Look out for Christian Furman to be a blocking presence inside. VCU hopes he is a counter to Jad Fenning, who has mauled VCU over the years. We now welcome in the third member of our broadcast crew, Gary Parrish, with more on a developing story for BC. Their arrival did not come until we were inside of an hour of tip.
Yeah, John, an interesting development pregame. Traffic is brutal outside. If you don't believe me, just ask Lap. VCU was here on the court around 4:30 going through its pregame routine, but Boston College got caught in that traffic and didn't actually arrive to Alumni Hall until a little after 5:20 local time. I asked BC coach Earl Grant how much that would disrupt their pregame routine. He said, honestly, he wasn't sure, so I guess we'll find out together. Either way, advantage VCU, and it's actually because of some local knowledge. Check this out. VCU coach Ryan Odom, he used to live here in Annapolis when he coached at UMBC, so he knew what to expect from the traffic, knew a better path to take, and that's why VCU, the Rams, they were here inside Alumni Hall very, very early.
I'll be honest with you, that happened to me once, and it drove me up a wall. And we were too far away to walk. BC had a chance. They probably should have walked, I think, at some point. But yeah, that's, as a coach, you know, that's not what you want to start your day with.
Well, thank you, Gary. By the way, Ryan Odom is at his second Veterans Classic 2021. He led Utah State to a win against Richmond, now his biggest rival at VCU. Opening tap won by the Rams, who are the home team clad in white because they're closest to Annapolis. That's how they determine in the non-Navy game who is the home team.
And one thing I can say about both these teams, mostly man-to-man. You might see BC sprinkle in a little zone here and there, but they've got to watch this tremendous three-point shooting team from VCU.
And Jack Clark gives it away with a travel. So some pressure here with Clark fronting.
They will press, but they don't press the way they did in the Shaka days of Havoc. But they will definitely throw it on here and there.
Chaz Kelly is the point man at the season start. There's a lot of unknowns with BC as they learn who they are as they play games. Each team 1-0, hand down the lane, stripped on the way up. Lost it off his own knee, out of bounds, ran ball. Now the Rams, the prohibitive favorite in the A-10. Dayton and St. Joe's ranked second and third. It's VCU's second Vets Classic. They beat Tennessee in November of 2014. That was the first edition. Shulga is their bucket getter.
The one thing about VCU too, John, is they are very, very old.
And you mean that in a good way?
In a good way.
Old.
Experienced old.
Furman puts it home.
No, not old like me. Old experience for basketball. Basketball old.
Well, according to my daughter, anybody over about 10 is old. The Eagles looking for a response. They lost so many, including Quinton Post. Their 7-footer led BC in scoring, rebounding, and blocks. Dion Brown off target. Shulga, great box and tap.
And you can see VCU will try to pick up the pace because they love to get those threes. They had a wide open three on the other side. But a very good move there by Furman, who's also really starting to prove as a junior, who's now starting to play a lot.
Had 4 points total in the win over Bellarmine already as for the game starts. Strong floater short. Good follow, but the putback off for hand. Bamisile's put on 20 pounds. He's added 4 inches to his vertical. Now at 46 inches. The top vert on the team.
That was a good closeout there by Strong on Shulga. Obviously, they have him on high alert because of his 43% career three-point shooting percentage.
Tried to ISO for him, but Brown disrupts. Into the high post. Chad Venning has carved up VCU. That was in his St. Bonaventure days. And he puts that home over top of Furman.
Boy, that was a nice move. He had 15 against the Citadel. He has not taken a three-point shot, nor will he. But down on that low block, he knows how to move.
He was attempting corner threes and shoot around today, but to your point, he has not hit one in a collegiate game in his long career.
Well, he was just out there having fun, I think.
Shulga, that's where he lives, and he's off target. Loose, off Bamisile, BC ball.
And you see Christian Furman here. Good finish in the post. Just goes up over Elijah Strong. And then here, Venning. Really good move. That's what he does. He was a big scorer inside for St. Bonaventure.
Luke Mamboye, the first sub of the game, has come in for VCU, the 6'10" freshman. Originally born in London, England, but several American high schools along the way. Now Kelly runs point, the second leading returning scorer. He's their primary point man at the season start. Hand, free throw line. Rolls off the iron, Bamisile. Creative look.
Bamisile is not just a three-point shooter. He put it on the floor, as you saw there, and his athleticism.
He was a bench man with 13 a game a year ago, but he's stepping into a much bigger role now.
Well, with Zeb Jackson out with a broken hand, he should be back in about 3 or 4 games, Ryan. No one told him before the game. Zeb Jackson's an all-league player.
A push foul on the drive. That'll go against Russell. What are your keys?
Well, when you play against VCU, you have to defend the three-point line. They made 15 out of 29 in their season opening win. And for VCU, especially a game early in the year where there's so much inexperience, you got to stop their most experienced guy, and that's Donald Hand Jr.
Had his first career double-double, 22 and 10, and their win over the Citadel on Monday. They held the Citadel from distance incredibly well, contested shots well, but VCU's a different shot-making team.
Yeah, this is different. You're also, some of the guys on the perimeter are a little bigger than the guys on the Citadel.
Hand without a plan. Venning, hot potato, able to sprawl, reset, good bounce, great in the lane, and a foul. Luke Mamboye trying to disrupt underneath. No sub for the Rams. Brandon Jennings comes in. He'll take the place of Russell. And Jennings is one of their freshman guards that figures to get some time. He has exceptional speed. Oh, furious jam! Chad Venning!
That was a great job on the out-of-bounds play there. VCU fell asleep there for a second.
He's 3-0 against VCU lifetime, averaging nearly 15 per. Bamisile down the grain of the lane. Not the prettiest of passes. Van Boye could not handle.
Yeah, that was a tough pass to handle, but here, just let him go right by him. Fakes the handoff. Miscommunication there.
Did not fake the funk on a nasty dunk. So Kelly picked up by Jennings. BC 2 of 6 shooting early. Aggressive take. Out of bounds. It'll be BC ball. We'll step aside. A possession separates these teams. A 6-4 VCU edge. Earl Grant and BC have not yet had a lead. But Ryan Odom's team has been trading buckets with BC in the early stage. What's your feel?
Yeah, well, right now they're trying to feel each other out. Nothing's really been established except both teams with 4 points in the paint. No jump shots yet.
18 on the timer. The sub off the bench, Roger McFarland, had started in his BC debut. Brought in from southeastern Louisiana, where he was the star. Second team All-Southland.
Undersized, tremendous rebounder he is. Tough shot there. Good defense.
2 untrue, but there is that board, exactly what you're talking about.
And he is a really, really good undersized rebounder. That's one of the things that he does so well, McFarland. He averaged almost 9 rebounds a game at Southeast Louisiana.
Up top, 3 ball, Bamisile. He was a 37% shooter from outside last year, hit just 2 in 7 attempts in the opener.
Yeah, I mean, he is a big-time shooter. Obviously, he's not Shulga, but he, combined with his athleticism, he's a tough guy.
Venning, baseline spin, travel. VCU, by design, wants to take it and make threes.
Yes, no doubt about it. Now here, and he's up on him, but he's a little bit, the problem is, a little bit too big, Bamisile was for McFarland on that.
They hit 222 threes last year, second most in program history, trailing only the Final Four team from 2011. They were even in threes per game. Bamisile off the front of the rim, but the tip back to VCU. Russell, hesitant dribble. Leave inside, Furman puts it home.
I'll tell you what, Furman is much improved, and if he's going to be able to produce for them this year, that's something that they need.
Biggest difference the game has seen so far, BC in dire need of offensive rhythm. Dion Brown shook Bamisile, wide open miss. Loose ball tip, Bamisile's got it. Alley-oop, a little ill-timed. Bell on the follow. And BC needs timeout. Earl Grant sees a run coming from the Rams. A 7-0 spurt and a touch over a minute and a 7-point difference.
VCU leading 13-6. Now here we see a scramble situation. Stop it right there. Dion Brown has to get in front of Furman because it's too big. He stays behind him, and then he just gives the ball down low, and he's going to be able, I mean, he's under the basket. He's got no chance to stop that. Got to fight him by fronting him more there.
Max Shulga has subbed in. He had time on the pine during this 7-0 run, Coach, and he is the best bucket getter that VCU has.
No doubt about it. That's the guy they need to get going. Right now, you got to give VCU credit for what they're doing in their half-court defense.
Ball a little static for BC. Flash in the high post. Brown. Oh, pretty pass. Hastings hit. No shot.
Yeah, that was a good play. I mean, Shulga ends up switching off to Venning in that situation, and just too big for him.
Shulga had a career year last year, career high 14 points per. He dropped 25 in the A-10 semifinal win against St. Joe's, trying to take it to another level. Ryan Odom pleading his case for his top point scorer. Send it the other way.
Well, they ran the same play before when Venning faked the handoff and came in for the dunk. That time he just sets the illegal screen there, and it's a foul.
Foul to Hastings, his first. So some ball pressure here.
That's been a point of emphasis too. What they do. That's a bad foul. What they do on the handoffs. Beadle's a very good defender. He played for Brad Brownell at Clemson, and he played. And if you play at Clemson, you got to be able to defend.
He was a Parks, Rec, and Tourism major in his Clemson days. Already got his degree. Not sure if Ron Swanson was involved in the Parks and Rec. So the Rams have Russell bring it up. He already has one foul. Shulga has not really gotten going. He's had a couple of shot tries that felt awkward, a little rushed. Furman. The lead for Bell. Jennings with the shake. Changes hands. Shulga tip, keeps it alive.
They just seem a lot quicker and a lot more active, VCU, so far in this game.
Russell deflected, track it down in the corner. Timer ticks at 10. Furman doubled.
Tough pass.
Bell couldn't handle. Out of bounds. BC ball. But there is that flurry of activity from VCU, and BC seems somewhat stagnant.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, at VCU, the way they are athletically, well, you got to get moving and get some screens. Probably get it into Vending a little bit, even though he's out of the game now.
Josh Beadle. Deion Brown, with a lot of promise down the lane. Didn't have a plan, tried to wrap around and played it off the Rams out of bounds. Last touch by Furman.
Little bit of one-on-one there coming from the top. No real offense going on in the half court.
Yeah, Brown, who came in from UMBC, first team All-America East last year. League only action. He led the league in scoring and rebounding. A little bit of a slip, but hand now gives it away. Jennings right at the rim, out of nowhere. The shot swat from Hastings.
I'm a little surprised that VCU has really tried to set a fast pace in this game. Now, I'm not saying they don't look to run, but they're not one of the most running teams in the country. They are really pushing the ball up in this game so far.
Shulga flick to Furman. He's been given that shot. That's his first miss. And the ball won by Deion Brown. McFarland wanted it. Transition triple is off, one and done. Bell flies up the floor. Down the lane. And a push. And so it's been sitting here at 13-6. A few subs for the Rams, including the return of Bamisile. This is what happens some in game 2 of the year, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's a little bit disjointed right now. Now, it's not like the old days when you started practice October 15th. These kids started practicing in June, but still, it's only the second game of the year. And you have Boston College especially, all these new guys.
Roger McFarland, the foul. Do you think the late arrival impacts things?
I always felt like, if I was the coach, I would feel like if we got a slow start, that had something to do with it. Now, you could say that's an excuse, but that's how I would feel.
Bell, quick load. Misfire, well-timed lead McFarland. That's what McFarland and Brown did well.
Well, you know, one of the things that Earl Grant did tell me was that he felt like that first flurry, you need to withstand that first one, and then he thinks they'll be able to dissect their defense a little bit better. But got to withstand the beginning.
Great follow there by Elijah Strong. He had a good showing in the NIT win at Providence last year, trying to take a step forward. Dropped 11 against the Citadel on Monday. They will step aside. VCU leads BC 13-8. Moments ago, Gary Parrish caught up with the Eagle head man, Earl Grant.
Earl, you called the timeout to try to stop momentum. What did you tell your team during that break?
We got to settle down, you know, just settle down. Make sure we rebound the first miss. Make sure we take good shots. You know, we just playing a little bit too sped up, so we got to have a little bit more composure.
4 turnovers so far, 4 field goals. What is VCU doing specifically to make things difficult?
Well, they're active. They're long, they're active. You know, we're forcing a few things, so we're putting ourselves in some bad situations. So I think some of these turnovers are on us.
Thanks, Earl.
Thank you.
Earl Grant took over a program that won 4 games the year before he arrived. You saw that nugget, 20 wins last year, first time since 2011, but they went nearly 4 minutes without a point.
Yeah, well, he was worried about that when the game started. He told me before the game, we got to get through this initial period where they're going to come after us hard early. We got to get through that, and they really are on the verge. Well, we'll see what happens there. I was going to say they're on the verge of getting through, but they got to hold their own here now. That's the important thing. And run offense. That's what they haven't been doing. They've been going one-on-one and getting sped up and not playing their game.
Chad Venning is back in.
But you see how VCU is aggressive defensively in the half court. Put a lot of pressure on you.
15 on the timer, and they're still just now establishing the possession.
And look how far out they are from the basket.
Strong. Fooled by the crowd into a bad shot, and Bamisile's got it. The band was counting down about a 5-second difference of the shot clock, and he believed it. Bamisile deflected. Superman sprawl. McFarland. Beadle the touch, anticipated by Russell.
That's a terrible fast break.
Bamisile cutting Shulga. Bamisile saying, feed me. Shulga against Venning, they clear. Crosses him over.
Good move.
First bucket for Shulga.
You know, he saw he had Venning on him. He thought he could take him off the dribble, and he sure could.
Points off turnovers, already +4 for VCU. Strong with sharp dribble, lead for Beadle.
You're looking at BC and you're saying, where are they going for points? I think you got to Venning.
He felt the double, 6 to shoot.
Here it comes.
Contested shot, Bamisile's got it. Already up double digits. Bamisile deep 3, got it!
That was great transition basketball. That was set up. The handoff from Furman to Bamisile quick. They couldn't get out fast enough off that handoff, and he was ready to shoot it. He knew what was going to happen on that play. You see Shulga there taking Venning to the basket, and then Furman with the handoff to Bamisile. They could not get out on him. Great secondary transition 3.
VCU has nearly hit as many threes, 3, as BC has total field goals, 4. It's a 15-2 run in 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this VCU team is explosive. They can score inside, they can score outside. Right now, they're defending really well, and I think BC's really trying to find themselves. I don't think they know what they are yet. It's hard to with the second game with all these new guys.
Yeah, we asked Earl Grant what he learned out of game 1 of the year, that win against the Citadel, and he said the first thing he learned is he felt he subbed too much. He played 11 guys, and he's still trying to find that sweet spot and the right pairings for who makes each other work best.
Yeah, I think 11 guys is too many guys to play in basketball. I was always an 8.5 guy. I mean, some people are 10. 11, I think, is really, really hard to establish chemistry with 11 guys.
Kelly brings it up. Greeted by Terrence Hill Jr., another one of the outstanding young freshman guards for VCU.
Yeah, I really like these 2 freshmen that we've seen so far, Jennings and Hill.
Floater is there for McFarland. That snaps a 2-minute scoreless stretch. Shulga uses the screen. Kick to Hill. Able to hold that pivot.
He looked like he was ready to pull the trigger.
Bamisile rejected hard by Venning. Bamisile comes up all smiles.
I think he thought he had a deuce there. Whoa, that's a pretty good play defensively.
Well, Venning at 19 and 11 in a win at VCU last year with St. Bonaventure. Clark, good up fake. Stride inside. McFarland. Can BC get something going offensively? They have been bested at both ends.
And they switch everything, VCU. They got a lot of versatile defenders. You get on that baseline, they're coming after you. They were fortunate that pass got through.
Behind the back shovel, McFarland 3, rattles in. That was a pretty pass by Dion Brown.
Really nice pass. You know what was nice about it? He hit him right on the numbers.
Now the Rams in constant motion.
A lot of movement.
Bamisile pawed at. 9 to shoot. Another hard rejection by Benning out of bounds. 5 to shoot.
Well, Benning averages almost 2 blocks a game for his career. Good pass.
But BC already with 3 blocks in this game and 2 total in the win against the Citadel. Now with 6 seconds before dead ball means immediate, Benning subs out to maximize real-time rest. What do you want here with 5 seconds?
The way they move the ball, they'll get something good on 2 passes.
Bamisile.
Oh, he's open. It was a bad pass. See, if he got a better pass, he would have been able to shoot that right away.
Off target, out of bounds, last touch to BC. VCU ball with a new 20. You can just readily see and feel the energy difference between these teams right now. Shulga, oh, that's easy to Clark, and he can't handle it. He thought he got fouled. Brown, no-look bounce. Hastings, high kiss miss, and a foul. VCU a fairly commanding advantage on BC, and moments ago, Gary Parrish with the head man for the Rams and Ryan Odom.
Ryan, the team has good energy. You had a double-digit lead. What do you like about the start?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a gritty game right now, right? I mean, it's pretty physical out here. I think our guys have made some solid plays, you know, defensively. One of the keys for us is defensive glass. Like, we've got to make sure that we're paying attention to that and really doing a good job blocking out. It allows us to play better in transition. But these guys are good, all right? They're a gritty team.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, thanks.
The VCU is +4 on the boards. They're plus in pretty much every category, Coach.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, they have shown the superior athleticism. There's no doubt so far. And I know Coach was upset they have 4 offensive rebounds, but VCU has 6. So they're winning that battle, too.
Foul before the break went on Christian Furman, his first, team's 4th. 4 fouls on each team. So Jaden Hastings at the line. 0 for 2 so far in his young collegiate career. And his first make. Now, Hastings caught the eye of some last year while redshirting when he added physically and was just warming up before a game. It was while the MIT Sabermetrics Conference was going on, which is very near Chestnut Hill. And some scouts were curious, who's that guy out there getting some work in? They liked the raw makeup they saw in Hastings. There are, by the way, scouts from 9 different NBA teams at the Veterans Classic here tonight, plus a couple of scouting services. Russell falling away, no. And the board there for McFarland, who's been an under-the-radar bright light in what's been an ugly start.
I think McFarland and Deion James give them some energy. And some hard-playing guys that'll rebound and do the little things. I mean, they have hand out now. Started the game 0 for 3. He's their guy.
McFarland, who had started the opener, came off the bench today. He was 3rd in the country among men 6'4" or shorter, rebounding at Southeastern Louisiana last year.
You know, if you're looking for energy, those 2 guys will give you some energy.
Brown puts it up. Flat miss, weak side VCU and Jack Clark.
Yeah, you got to make that one. That was a pretty good lick, pretty good look.
Hard screen, Clark on high. No. Friendly fire, Brown wins it. Feed the screener and Strong. Benning once again on the bench. McFarland up fake doesn't do. Bamisile. Hastings.
Whoa.
Bad look opposite.
Has got a high scorer back. It's high rebounder. Stefanovic is back.
An issue on entry here. Ryan Odom not happy.
Yeah, that's kind of mistake that you're like, I mean, that's talk about unforced error.
So gifted possession to BC. But the Eagles have been seemingly rudderless as a unit offensively.
Yeah, you know, the 14 points they have, they're like come here and there. There's no flow that they're making them score.
Brown on the drive. Banker good. That's his first bucket. Well, mini spurt here. 8 unanswered in 3 minutes. Bamisile, contested 3. No. Clark's got it.
Yeah, Hastings has to get that rebound.
Bamisile, bully ball in the lane. A little short.
Turned him on the glass.
Shulga.
They've done a great job on Shulga so far.
He was #1 of the scout. And a foul on the drive, offensive. For more on Earl Grant, let's check in with Gary.
Yeah, interesting story about Boston College coach Earl Grant on this Veterans Day weekend. After graduating from Georgia College back in 2000, he had a deal to play professionally in Croatia, but it fell through, so he started working camps here and there with the hope of maybe breaking into the coaching profession. Nothing was popping, though, so low on good options, Earl decided to join the Air Force. He actually went to the recruiting office in his hometown on a Monday and was told to come back on Wednesday and all the paperwork would be ready. Then on Tuesday, he got a call from his college coach, Terry Sellers, and told him that he thought he could get a second GA spot on the staff if he wanted it, and the rest, as they say, is history. But Earl Grant really was just 1 day away from joining the Air Force a little more than 2 decades ago. He's always had an appreciation for the academies, and that's among the reasons he wanted to bring his team here this Friday.
That's a stellar story.
That is an unbelievable story.
What a flip. Bamisile to Clark. In the air, he's fouled. I mean, they get up the floor fast.
And, you know, that's got to annoy you if you're Earl Grant because, you know, the fact that Jack Clark was able to get that ball and there were like 3 BC guys around and he beats everybody down the floor to make that catch. That's the type of thing that won't make you happy. That was a very, very athletic move by Jack Clark.
Foul to Deion Brown, his first. So Clark, who's in his 7th year of
I've never heard
basketball.
that. That's unbelievable, the fact that he was able to get 2 medical red shirts. I mean, that's like hard to do.
Plus COVID. And when we spoke with Ryan Odom about Jack Clark, he pointed out that he feels he shoots way better than people know. He said, look out for his ability to knock down shots and loves how he defends.
You know, he's a 30% career three-point shooter, so that doesn't sound great, but he's 6'10". He is a guy that you have to respect on the line, especially as a big guy.
So Obi Okafor is in for the Rams, the former walk-on. And it is a physical game. It feels like that element is ratcheting up.
Yeah, VCU trying to put the pressure on and Shulga with a bad foul in the corner.
And that is his second. What do you do?
Yeah, you got to come out, especially with 5 minutes. He's done for the half.
Well, Phillips fronts. Benning back in.
They're going to have a lot of depth on the perimeter, VCU, when Zeb Jackson comes back. They're going to have 4 really good players out there. And those 2 freshmen are good. I like this VCU team.
And Jackson, their fastest man, broke his shooting left hand in practice. They're not even exactly sure how. Brown on the drive, rejected away. Big shot swat for Furman. Russell in transition, rips it.
I wonder if they're going to make Zeb Jackson the starter and have Russell come off the bench like he did in the WAC conference where he was 6th man of the year last year. He's a good player.
Over 1,300 points in his collegiate career. And that snapped an 0-for-8 field goal drought for the Rams. Now an offensive trying to free Kelly.
And you know, it's what you said, John, before. There really is no flow to Boston College. Whatever they score, they kind of like doing it here and there. It's a great block, as you saw. And then Phillips there just pulls up for 3 in transition. These guys are going to push it up, and you better get back and locate. Phillip Russell.
Jennings up top, Furman. He had the hot hand early. Sharp dribble, leave for Russell. Ball screen goes against it. twisting
Wow.
shot. Oh, that's pretty.
With the left.
The Dynamo at UT Arlington. Well, 6 unanswered for VCU, and that's part of the issue, right? Their scoring comes in such rapid spurts.
And BC has to work for every basket.
Right down the grade of the lane, tie up, loses it out of bounds, VCU ball.
And this is a great move here. He comes back with the left hand. I mean, that's a tough shot.
Each team 1-0, but in game 2, clear and obvious rhythm for VCU. BC rather, devoid of it.
They were the aggressors from the beginning on both ends, and they're making things very hard for BC in the half court, and BC has gotten nothing easy in transition.
Jennings to Bamisile. He's been quiet for a bit. Oh, nice look to Furman. Disrupted well. Excellent effort there on the tumble by Fred Payne.
Yeah, that was a great job defensively by Payne.
Hand off. Payne, weak side. Took a shot. Up top to Kelly. Ball fake. Hand. Reverse. That's the prettiest possession BC's had all game.
They got to get him going. And you know, the reason why it was a good possession is because they reversed the ball a couple of times and got some movement.
And all ignited by Fred Payne, who had an ugly left knee injury in the infancy of last year. Plays without a brace, but an obvious scar on the outside of that left knee. 3-ball, Phillips. Banker miss, rebound VCU. Out of bounds, ran ball. Well, there you see the shooting discrepancy more pronounced from deep in favor of VCU. But Payne fronts, his energy gave spark right before the break.
100%.
Floater to Clark. Contested force and a good box and board from McFarland.
And you know, Payne was involved with that little double team there.
Bad force shot, Rams run. Phillips wants it, wide open wing 3. No. Beadle couldn't handle. VCU gets gifted ball. Bamisile short and flat.
Great box out by Payne.
But he batted the ball, could not corral it. Bamisile wants the ball, has size matchup on hand. Opposite to Phillips. No.
They've had trouble getting rebounds, BC.
And now Payne's got the ball. Can he ignite? And out of bounds.
Got to give VCU credit in terms of their transition defense. When BC has run, VCU has been back and really ready to stop their transition game.
Phillips out, the return of Phillip Russell for VCU. What does each coach want with 2 minutes and change left here?
Well, BC wants to try and at least get into the locker room, get this thing down to like 5 or 6 if they can. That's important to them. VCU wants to continue to keep the heat on BC.
Bamisile poked at. Russell and a foul on Payne. Now, Payne was hurt December the 5th against Central Connecticut State. Suffered that left knee injury, did not play again the rest of the year. Played 3 minutes in game 1 of the season. He was a later insertion in this game here today. Well, 7 fouls on BC. Russell at the line. Last year at 85% free throw shooter. First of the 1-and-1s. And he converts. Now, VCU regularly in the big dance, 19 all-time NCAA tournament appearances, 9 in a dozen A-10 seasons. Of course, their best run came in 2011 when they were still in the CAA, went to the Final Four.
They've had a good program for a long time. When you think about, you know, Jeff Capel, Mike Rose, Shaka Smart, Ryan Odom. Got a lot of good coaches there.
Yeah, Ryan Odom points out all active hands by Russell, still BC ball. That VCU is like a high major program. And you see their facilities, you know, the weight room they have, it is outstanding. Well, BC length of the floor here.
And evidently they have a very good NIL program, too.
That's what drives a lot of it.
You better have.
Yes. Beadle, give it a little ground by Russell. Help from Bell, high kiss, make. Oh, that's pretty. Single digits.
But VCU pushing it right down their throat quickly and get a layup. Wow.
Beat Beadle off the bounce and a foul. That'll be a second.
That was not good defense by BC because they just scored here, as you can see, and a nice move. And then VCU comes right back and is able to get 2 free throws.
So Beadle with 2, BC with 8. And the guy you don't want to foul is back there again. 85% a year ago. And he converts. The Navy AD, Chet Gladchuk, a standout football player at BC. Graduated with honors in business management, 1973. And he got surprised by the BC basketball team as he was presented with a football jersey stitched with his name and number from his BC days. Served as the AD well after his playing days there.
Yeah, when I was coaching in the Big East at Villanova, he was the athletic director. We'd go on the Big East meetings every year. Got to know Chet and his wife.
He and Navy head coach Ed DeChellis, critical partners in collaborating and building this event. Venning doubled. The reluctant dribble, blind pass finds McFarland. 5 to shoot, tied up.
Really good help defense that time by VCU.
Now he's part of a legacy. His father, Chet Gladchuk Sr., an All-American over a couple of years at BC, part of their team of destiny, probably their best ever, that went 11-0 in 1941, and forever proud. You know, he certainly is the steward of Navy and has his loyalties in Annapolis now, but those collegiate days where you went to school, there's a lifetime loyalty.
Well, you know, you root for Navy first, you can root for a second team.
So only 3 seconds on the timer here.
Enough time to get a good shot.
Hand tipped, has to force it up. And Clark's got it before the timer went off, but it's a power play.
The activity of the VCU defense has been outstanding this entire game.
Up by 10, we approach 1 minute. No look to Bamisile. Beats his man down the lane, and he gets fouled. Chad Venning with 2.
This guy's a high-level athlete, I will tell you that. Venning blocked that one before. This time he fouls him.
So Venning, who scored almost 15 a game, going 3-0 against VCU, has the St. Bonaventure Bonnie. Has 4 points and now 2 fouls in this first half. Bamisile miss. And Dion Brown is back, and Hastings returns as well. Both Hand and Venning to the pine for BC. Bamisile rattles it in. VCU has the use it or lose it. BC called its timeout fairly early. Has to call another here.
Yeah, the pressure full court, couldn't get the ball in bounds.
We'll take a 30 ourselves. VCU by 11, physicality ratcheting up.
Yeah, this game has been pretty physical from the beginning, no doubt about it.
And there was no call on that contact. If there's any player on the floor that knows what active elbows can do, it's Dion Brown, who suffered that broken nose right before BC's opener.
But think of this, John. VCU is 2 for their last 15 from the field, and they're up 11. That tells you what's going on in this game is their defense has really disrupted Boston College.
And BC out of a called timeout. Bamisile provides escort for Chaz Kelly III. He got the started point, went to the bench for a long time.
And I'll tell you what, Phillip Russell could put some pressure on the defense.
Oh, nice seal, but no finish for Hastings.
Great position that time by Hastings. He's got to score on that one.
Inline drive, kick corner, rhythm three for Clark. Off iron, right on the spot. Easy bucket for Brandon Jennings. Timer off, what do you want?
Well, hold the ball for as long as you can now and get out of this game. Down 13, hopefully you'll be down, maybe make a 3, down 10, but take the last shot.
Harvard is in the building, walking from the opposite corner. 10 seconds.
But looks like they're going to get a one-on-one, and that's it.
Kelly, flat. Loose ball, Bamisile. The heave, off the heel at the horn. VCU smothering pressure. Max Scholga just about a non-factor, and they're routing
It's been a good night so far for VCU. Max Scholga off to a slow start, though. Only 2 points on 3 shots, and during halftime, they were working on his calf. I asked Max if he's okay. He gave me a thumbs up. I talked to Ryan Odom as well. He said he's fine, just off to a slow start, but don't be surprised if VCU runs some stuff very early in the second half to try to get their leading scorer going.
Well, you got to give BC credit for the way they defend. They were worried about Scholga coming into the game. The problem is that VCU has other weapons, too. You know what I mean? Phillip Russell is really terrific. Bamisile, we know. So they got a lot going on, VCU. It's not just one guy.
And when we asked Earl Grant, how do you handle Max Scholga, he said it's everyone's job to stop Scholga. Let's see what the Rams do. Bamisile well on his way to a double-double. He's only had 2 lifetime. Already has 9 and 7. Scholga, that quick action Gary was talking about. Russell, leave, Clark for rhythm. Off target. And weak side tracked down by hand. For BC, Roger McFarland had 7 and 6. No other Eagle had more than 4. That was Venning with 4. Every other Eagle was 2 or less.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Earl Grant talked in the locker room about, let's run our stuff.
Double. Scholga ties him up, jump ball.
And there's the problem. So they go into the low post. Scholga comes from the weak side. Venning doesn't see it. Now ties him up. You see Scholga just come in from the weak side there.
And that's something Earl Grant was very honest about. He pointed out how BC defensively, very active, highly communicative, but it's a slower burn with some of the install of offense. They have so many newer faces.
Yeah, I mean, that they're definitely have more challenges.
Kelly
Not
whispers
a good
the net. Scholga driving on Strong, off the up fake, contested, rejected partially. Strong's got it.
Yeah, Scholga's really trying to get going here, but give BC credit.
Scholga with 2 points, 1 of 4 shooting. And a foul on the floor as Venning was matched up with Furman. Well, Furman with 2. BC only attempted 5 threes, hit 1. The miss on the block for Brown. Scholga 3-on-2 quickly. The bounce to Bamisile. Euro rejected. Count it.
One thing about Bamisile, he can really run and fill lanes too.
Remember, Bamisile was not playing for the first 11 games last year. Had to apply for that NCAA waiver that came in for the country in mid-December. Debuted against Temple.
Transfer from Oklahoma.
Brown.
Hands got to get more involved in this game.
Venning asking for the ball. Brown against Bamisile. Contested fall away.
Tough shots.
Scholga bumped and fouled. Deion Brown's got 2. There were still a lot of three-point tries from the Rams. 16 attempts so far, only 4 makes. But Scholga's the man who can really convert in bunches from deep.
I mean, you got to say that BC's done a decent job on defense, but VCU's been better defensively.
Scholga on the spin. Gets bumped. Able to hold the pivot. Threads the needle to Russell. Contested three. Whistle. And Chaz Kelly. So Kelly with his first, and now 3 free throw tries coming for Russell. Well, Russell already 3 of 4 at the line, 85% a year ago, 1,300 points lifetime. Now the Rams are perennial power in the A-10, the favorite once more this season.
Yeah, it seems like VCU and Dayton are always up there in the top 2. St. Joseph's made a big move this year to be in third with Eric Reynolds and Xavier Gibson. Those 2 guys, in terms of their guards, really a lethal 1-2 punch.
Since VCU joined the A-10 for the 12-13 season, the most wins in league play. A 707 win percentage, 147 victories.
This is a program that's been very good for a long time.
Largest lead of the game for VCU, confronting pressure from Clark. Strong. The lead for Kelly. Brown. 4 shot, and he hits it.
And he hit it over Furman. Furman did a good job of switching out to him.
Russell hits heel. Shulga back down.
Great job by Shulga.
Bamisile wanted to clear, driving on hand. Felt the double, opposite Russell for 3. Yes! And the whistle. Bamisile dancing right now and smiling. You can feel the frustration mounting for BC. Russell now with 13 to lead the game. Well, Kelly just picked up his second. Furman lead for Shulga. Bamisile. Saw a seam with his back to the basket, shield and sink.
Getting whatever they want now.
50 seconds dead ball means media, but it's a 20-point game.
Yeah, I think I would have used the timeout. Let's take a look at how Russell got this open 3. He does a great job. Now you watch him. Stop it right there. You watch him now. He's going to attack the back of his man's head and relocate to the corner. So his man's not seeing him now. So what's he do? He relocates to the corner. He gets lost early, open enough to make that 3. Good job moving without the ball and knowing where how your defensive man is playing you.
Last foul to Shulga, his 3rd, so he's going to go back to the bench. Jennings takes his place. And what a job by Russell, who's got 5 points at the line, a couple of 3-point makes. He and Bamisile with 13 apiece to lead the game. Free throw miss, Bamisile board. Bamisile. Bumped by Strong. And now the fouls piling up in bunches for BC.
I think the thing you have to be most concerned about, obviously your offense for Earl Grant, but he's got to be really concerned that Donald Hand has not been involved in this game at all. And that's the guy. I know he's only a sophomore, but they need him. He's their experienced guy from last year, and he's not really stepping up at the moment.
He had 22 and 10 in the win over the Citadel. But fairly silent here tonight. Bamisile able to probe. Furman cleans it up weak side.
offensive glass. And I know Earl Grant's trying to get to that timeout, but
Foul to Russell, his second.
and Christian Furman here in good position.
Well, Russell out, Terrence Hill Jr. back in. He was originally committed to Utah State. Ryan Odom recruited him out there. And the change of staff happened, and there was already a relationship forged, and a young man from Portland, Oregon, is now playing in Richmond, Virginia for VCU. Hand, static. Benning, foul. Will step aside. VCU pulling away convincingly on top of BC. Been far from luck. VCU has just been playing better in just about every phase of the game.
Yeah, you name it, they've been doing it. You know, one of the things that we didn't point out at halftime, John, was that in the first half, BC had 1 assist and 10 turnovers. I mean, that's really, really bad. And the other thing that's been a problem for them is Venning only's taken 3 shots. So you got to think, I thought coming into this game that Venning and Hand were the 2 best players. Well, Venning's only taken 3 shots. You got to get the ball inside to the big guy. But VCU, to their credit, is making it hard to do.
Foul before the break to Brandon Jennings, his first. Rams and Eagles with 4 each. Venning follows the miss with a miss, and Furman's got the board. Well, VCU has been building upon its life and energy. BC, by contrast, has been sputtering most of the game. One of their few bright lights, Roger McFarland ready to sub in. Clark explodes to the cup and gets bumped.
Yeah, you know, when you close out of control, that's what happens. Guy's going to take his shot fake and end up at the basket.
So Venning's got 3.
I know he's coming out, and I'm not saying I disagree that he should come out for a couple of minutes, but this thing is now or never, you know? So if you want to take him out for a minute so he doesn't pick up his 4th now, but he's got to be coming back in soon at this point in the game.
Now, it was a whole different set of young men. Massive turnover for BC, but last year's Eagles rallied a lot. Of their 20 wins, they trailed by double digits in 7 of them.
Yeah, no, they had an unbelievable year. They also had a great player in Quentin Post.
Yep.
I mean, this guy was a pro, so I'm at 7 feet. So they also had, you know, a guy they could go to, average like 18 a game.
Yeah, he was drafted by the Warriors. He's playing pro ball now. So BC length of the floor. Just possession by possession. Where can they find some identity, some consistency? Deion Brown, good look. McFarland off the fake, gets bumped. For more on the moving faces, let's check in with Gary.
Yeah, John, a big topic in college athletics these days is the transfer portal and how players are just moving back and forth and all over the place, and there's an example of it on the court right now. We have Jack Clark and Josh Beadle on different teams, but a year ago they were both at Clemson in the rotation for Brad Brownell's Elite 8 team.
Yeah, I mean, these guys played. You know what I mean? It's not like they were guys that weren't playing. They played on a good team. But that's what college athletics is nowadays.
It's something, Gary, that you pointed out, how essentially there were a series of trades between BC and Clemson.
I don't think they technically go down that way, right. But you having a baseball background, that is absolutely what it feels like in college basketball these days. Programs making trades all over the country.
And so conversion at the line. The difference stands at 20. There is no grand slam in college basketball. 3-point shots the best you got. Bell lead for Bamisile. Step back wide open. How does that happen?
Well, you know, first of all, he's big and he raises up like that. No, they were not in him at all. There's no question.
Well, 6 triples made for VCU, only 1 for BC. Nice look. Hastings can't finish with a tough angle. That's over the backboard. And Bamisile's just full of joy. I mean, he has come up with budding, bright smiles after these sequences.
He plays hard, and you see here, he does the step back, no defender to be found. They do a good job. They know what they are. They know what they do. They do a great job of those handoffs, coming off handoffs, ready to shoot the ball.
He's got 16 and 8. Rams have the ball in the capable hands of Hill, who's known for being a drive and kick creator.
I mean, the crazy thing is Zeb Jackson is supposed to be their best player, but Bamisile, I don't know. Then Shulga hasn't showed us anything tonight. He's just been not right from the beginning.
Wide open. He was begging for the ball, a flat miss. Euro loses handle, foul. The whistles are piling up. Play has become kind of choppy.
Yes, it has.
Joe Bamisile getting it done.
Yeah, he's been terrific. He goes off the dribble. He's so athletic. He can jump, finish. Terrific three-point shooter. Just a big-time player.
Well, Bamisile, who's had as many as 30 points in a game. That came in his time at GW. Time at Virginia Tech, GW, Oklahoma. It's his second year at VCU, and that's part of why he has transformed physically. Now, he lived a vegan diet for a long time. He decided to make a life choice and change to eating meat, working out more in the weight room. But he had his first off season with a program to try to drive home that weight program. He added 20 pounds of muscle. He added 4 inches to his vertical, and you can see the ball control he's able to have in the post.
Oh, yeah, he's much stronger than he was, and he's not afraid to go in there and really try to finish strong.
Now, Shulga's back with 3 fouls, up 22. Ryan Odom knows that the best version of VCU includes Shulga. Clark.
Pretty good move. I mean, at 6'10" to make a move like that off the dribble. They got some skilled guys.
Well, Luka Taves gets his first minutes. He's bringing the ball up now, the freshman. Born in Tokyo, Japan, to Brown. Puts it home. And Taves known for having a little 2-foot Steve Nash game in him. And that's Earl Grant trying to go deeper and deeper into his bench and find something.
He might as well try him.
Bell. Russell puts it up.
Tough
puts
shot.
It in. 15 points, half century for VCU. Brown thought he was hit.
You're going to see Jack Clark here with a little nice move off the bounce by the 6'10" guy. Goes behind his back, little step back. And then Russell, this guy is just, he's tough too. Him and Bamisile.
Yeah, Clark, as you mentioned, he started all 4 NCAA tournament games for Clemson. Part of his second weekend.
He started for Clemson, he started for NC State. I mean,
contested tough shot, a miss for Russell. And Jennings trips up his man for a foul. That'll be his third. So the fouls continue to pile up. It's already bonus time for BC. That's one way they could try to cut in to this gaudy deficit with a lot of time left in the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
So Hand to the line. And the top returning scorer for BC. He had 22 and 10 in their opener on Monday. It's something that his head coach Earl Grant said he considered a continuation of last year. When they were hot, winning 6 of 8 down the stretch, Hand had more time and was more productive.
Yeah, he's been basically invisible in this game.
Only 1 field goal make to this point. Just posted his 4th point of the game, 4 rebounds. Also his 4 turnovers. So
BC with some pressure full court. They got to try something.
The VCU drilled Bellarmine on Monday. Their core quartet, Shulga, Russell, Clark, and Bamisile, 64. They're 84. Bumped in the corner try, Russell.
Second time he's been fouled on a 3.
And that goes on the freshman Luka Taves, who had only just gotten his first minutes moments ago. Now, Luka Taves comes from some major basketball lineage. His brother Kai was the runner-up to John Morant for the D1 lead in assists when he was at UNC Wilmington. Their father, BT, a longtime basketball coach pro in Japan, did have some stateside collegiate coaching. And their cousin, Jonathan Taves, the three-time Stanley Cup champ, won the Conn Smythe as the MVP with the Blackhawks, a highly accomplished NHL player. So already 2 different tries at the line with 3 shots for Russell. It has been a bit of a Murphy's Law game for BC, and conversely, just about everything rosy for VCU.
Well, VCU, they set the tone early in this game about how it was going to be played. They were tough. They were physical on the defensive end. They pushed it up, and they've been the aggressors from the beginning.
And they've left points at the line. They've not shot that well from 3. Bamisile was out of bounds. But giving that kind of effort, up 23.
These guys play hard.
Hand down the lane. And Bamisile's got it.
It was a good block.
Shoga flick corner, Russell. Right inside of Furman. Knocked away. Alert hands for Hastings. Hand, triple try. Transition true.
That's one of the first times they came down in transition and actually got something open.
Second half, they have made 3 buckets. VCU is 7 of 14 since the break. Bamisile comes to a stop. Doubled and somehow not pressured. Finds Furman.
Yeah, that's way too easy. And Furman was standing there for a while. I thought it was almost going to be 3 seconds.
I mean, how does that happen? They collapse a double right on top of him. And the poise and body control, that strength.
And and the guy who's open is like 4 feet away.
Brown, lone 2. Not true. Bamisile feed to Bell, deflected. And a whistle. Taves. Is that on purpose? Shore up. So
no, actually it wasn't. I'm not that clever.
Foul before the break went to Taves, his second. So BC with 7, VCU with 7. Bell at the line. First of the 1-and-1s for the Rams this half. And a misfire. Hands got it. You can see him slapping away at Bamisile. There has been that chippiness factor all game.
It's been that way from the beginning. But one of the things that VCU has not shot free throws well there. Otherwise, BC would be even further away.
Taves floats up, and the 2-hand miss. Hastings lost it. Russell shows him, and a misconnect there with Bell. McFarland. Hastings, another miss.
He's got to make that.
Drop step, good leave, Payne, rejected by Bamisile. Out of bounds. I mean, Bamisile's effort level is constant.
Yeah, he plays hard. He looks like he's having fun out there.
There is that infectious, contagious element. And you can see how his teammates feed off it. And oh yeah, he's just a darn good player.
Yeah, well, that helps too.
Bamboye is back in as Furman gets a breather. Hastings. Taves trying to create. Slow trigger for Payne. 7 to shoot. Bumped on the sideline. Now, just a flurry of whistles that are appropriately being called. It's part of the physicality of this game, but it means even more disjointed play.
Yep.
And BC has missed its last 4 from the floor, 1 of its last 7, but bonus free throws on both sides after that's the second to Luke Bamboye. So Earl Grant's team did not get here until about 20 after 5 for a 6 o'clock tip. Was that a factor? Is it still a factor?
If I were coaching, I would think it was a factor, yes. They got off slow. They never got right. Obviously, their routine was destroyed. Like, why have a routine if you don't believe in it? If you don't believe it helps, then why do it? You know what I mean? You have a routine. You want to get there a certain time before the game. It doesn't happen. It has something to do with it, in my opinion.
Look at this ball movement. Bamisile, Shulga.
He hasn't been close tonight.
Hand, elbow, J, got it.
He's got to be aggressive coming off those pick and rolls like that. He does a good job of pulling up there.
Rams seek response. Shulga shape it up. Ugly feed on the tumble out of bounds off of McFarland. Let's check in with Gary Parrish for a look at the ACC.
Yeah, it should be a terrific league this season. Duke's Cooper Flagg is the headliner. He's got a chance to become the youngest Wooden Award winner in history. He doesn't even turn 18 years old until a few days before Christmas. Right now, projected to be the #1 overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft.
Bamisile deep, 3 miss.
Well, I would say, I mean, obviously, Cooper Flagg is unbelievable. Ryan Kalkbrenner, maybe he's got something to say about it. I mean, 49 points, I would have never guessed that by him ever. I don't care who was against.
Taves trying to wrap around, out of bounds.
But Cooper Flagg is going to be the first player selected in the draft, without a doubt.
And there will be a little bit of Duke flavor to the second game of this twin bill. Tommy Amaker, who famously was the point guard Final Four team in '86 that beat David Robinson and Navy for the right to go to the Final Four. And Duke faced off against the midshipmen. He now leads Harvard.
I tell you, Bamisile, besides everything else, is a tough defender.
Clark, transition 3. He's got 2 made triples. He is the 4th Ram to double figures.
A lot of weapons.
By contrast, BC is led by Hand at 10 exactly. No other Eagle in double figures.
Not a lot of weapons.
Hand contested by Shulga. Tumbles down. Tracked down by Payne. Reluctant 3. And a whistle as Shulga got undercut by Hand.
Jack Clark in transition. Good pass by Shulga. I think when Zeb Jackson comes back, it's going to help Shulga because he can also handle the ball. In this game, Shulga's brought the ball up the whole game.
And there's a look at the scoring variety. Clark, the 4th of the quartet to double figures. You know, the players subtly different, but that same identity to what they showed with 4 core scorers in the opening win against Bellarmine. 1-1 for Shulga. He only has 1 field goal make. That's just his 3rd point of the game. I mean, they're blowing out this BC team, and Shulga has been largely a non-factor.
Tells you that they have weapons. You know, when your best player can play poorly and you're up 22 points, it's a good sign for your team.
He's a great free throw shooter, 88% last year. It was the 2nd best free throw season in history, and he misses. On a night where, as you pointed out, they just can't get free throws to go.
Yeah, their free throw shooting has not been good.
They're now 10 of 19 as a team, 53%. Taves saw the double.
Oh, great job.
Shulga anticipates. Flies to the rim, bucket.
You said it, John. That was a great job. He saw the double team. He stepped up on the guy who was going to have to be the only outlet and made the steal.
He's thinking a play ahead. Hastings cuts, Taves kicks, Payne for 3, no. Shulga whips it forward to Clark. Good look opposite. How did he find him? And the 3 ball off for Jennings. McFarland wants it, but BC gives it away. Jennings, good, no look. But Van Boye didn't feel it.
Ryan Odom holding his head.
Turnovers piling up on BC. As many giveaways as made field goals in the game. Denied underneath the whistle. The Veterans Classic, full of pageantry and flair. A salute to all those who serve the 11th annual edition from here at Alumni Hall.
You're watching
We got your back every.
These guys, quality guys
Convincingly.
and quality coaches. You don't last that long unless you're both.
And they knew each other best in their shared Big Ten days when the Cellist was at Penn State, Amaker was at Michigan. Tommy Amaker took all half-dozen matchups. So Luka Taves at the line. Foul went to Bamboye as his third. And Taves converts at the line. So VCU's up a ton. BC is getting blown out. You still got 7:20 to go. What do you want to see accomplished?
You know, at least try to get some rhythm in your half-court offense.
Brown puts it in.
I say that's the main thing. Run your stuff, try to get some confidence in it.
Shulga. Tame to 5 points, but does have 10 rebounds in the game. Out of bounds. 12 to shoot. And last year's Rams won 24 games, made the A-10 championship, lost to Duquesne, bested Villanova in the NIT and South Florida before they fell to Utah in the quarterfinals.
Not a good pass there.
Easy takeaway. McFarland.
Neither
Rams
was that.
reciprocate. Russell, oh, brilliant fake. He's now got 18 to lead the game. Good pass to Payne.
You know how you can tell that the pressure has really bothered BC? How much has Venning touched the ball in this game?
He's been on the bench for stretches too, but yeah, you're right. Even when he's been out there.
They can't get it to him.
Shulga, shield and miss, but draws the foul from McFarland, his second.
Yeah, not a good pass there. And Phillip Russell had himself a game.
I mean, he can go get points. When he was at SEMO, Southeast Missouri, he had as many as 37 in a game. He spent last year at UT Arlington, as you talked about, the WAC sixth man of the year. He averaged 15 as the sixth man.
Yeah, and who knows, like I said, when Zeb Jackson comes back, what's, Ryan Odom going to do?
He was preseason second team All-A-10, Zeb Jackson, a fifth-year player who had transferred in a few years ago from Michigan. When we asked Ryan Odom, what do you lose with Jackson out? He said leadership and speed. And he pointed out that speed affects both sides, offense and defense.
And they look pretty fast to me without him.
Yes. And he's their fastest guy.
Yeah.
They do a lot of almost NBA combine measurables, vertical, the wingspan, and the three-quarter court sprint. They've got the top mark.
They've got depth. There's no doubt about it. Maybe they don't have great depth inside. Really, they have just firm, for the most part, unless they're able to get Bamboye going a little bit.
Now for more on the VCU top scoring man in Max Shulga, let's check in with Gary.
Lap, you made a great point earlier about VCU being a program that's been good for a long time. Needless to say, they want to stay that way, and here's a story that illustrates that. Max Shulga, VCU's leading scorer, he actually got into the transfer portal after last season. Villanova made a big NIL offer. He felt like he had to go, so he committed to Cal Neptune's program. He was out the door, but then Shulga decommitted from Villanova and returned to VCU. So the obvious question, why did he turn around? Simply put, it was money. Ryan Odom told us today that VCU's administration stepped up in a way that prevented VCU from losing its leading scorer to a Big East program. This is the world we live in now. Not all A-10 programs can fight off a prominent Big East program for a transfer, but beat VCU, that's what they did this offseason, and it showed that even though there is a growing divide in the sport, the Rams are not done competing with the big boys quite yet.
Well, you know, that's a great point, Gary, and the truth is, that's a great thing for the Atlantic 10 that there's that kind of commitment. And I'm sure there's other teams in the league with a big commitment also, and that's what it's about nowadays.
Furman couldn't handle, loose on the deck and a whistle. And it helps when it's sellouts galore at the Siegel Center over the last decade plus.
You got tradition, basketball program that's been good for so long, as we've said. Well, it's funny because I told Ryan Norm, I said, you know, you have a habit of only taking good jobs because Utah State is a really good job too. Stu Morrill was there for like 25 years, and then, you know, I mean, Craig Smith leaves, now Sprinkle leaves. Everybody who goes there is able to win and leave, or like Stu Morrill, he stayed for a long time.
Foul to Bell, his first, double bonus both teams. Well, I mean, he learned under his dad, right? Dave Odom, three-time ACC Coach of the Year. Head man in South Carolina, Wake Forest, when he and Tim Duncan went to the second weekend a couple of times.
I mean, he grew up in this. Like, he was like my son. You know what I mean? That's all they knew.
Brown trying to save it out of bounds. Who does NJIT have on the horizon for the Highlanders?
They're playing Villanova tonight.
The all-Lapis game.
Yeah, that's it. My wife's going to be sitting on the other side of the bed, you know, not where she used to sit. She was on the other side tonight.
Well, Bamisile and Russell have just been tremendous. Bamisile trying to take Benning off the bounce. And travel.
And as we've said too, John, these guys are older. I mean, it makes such a difference.
And having that connectivity in a more and more disjointed, you know, kind of learning on the fly scene in college basketball with roster turnover, to have the relative stability, a big deal. Bamisile tripped up and fouled by Payne.
I got to tell you, I think Bamisile could play in the NBA. I do. I mean, he's long, he's athletic, he can shoot. I mean, physically, he looks like a pro.
Well, Bamisile to the line. He reached 1,000 career points in the season opener against Bellarmine, while BC lost a ton. Yes, they won 20 games last year, went to the quarters in the ACC. But Quentin Post was only part of what fell away. They had to remake the team, as you pointed out in the open, the 20th fewest minutes returning in America.
Yeah, that's obviously a very tough thing to deal with.
Look at VCU continuing the pressure.
And you know, that was the difference. I had Columbia and Villanova the other day. Columbia was number 1 in the country in minutes continuity, and they were playing a Villanova team that was like number 30 or 40 in minutes continuity. So I mean close to 300 in that. So that was the difference in that game.
Yeah, when I think of that continuity, one of the first things that springs to mind was the Jim Larinaga, George Mason team that kind of demonstrated what was possible. So there you go. This is the returning numbers in boards, points, and minutes.
I mean, there you go. I mean, there's nothing else you could say. You're in the second game of the year. They don't know who they are yet. They just don't. And the best thing for Earl Grant is to, you know, keep his patience.
Yeah. We'll step aside. It's all VCU. Our officials are huddled up on the monitor. Watch the left side. Number 1, White, matched up with number 5, Fred Payne. Is that just a common foul is called on the floor, his third, or something more in that contact with Phillip Russell?
I think that's a common foul, but, you know, they've been talking about it for a while. Maybe they're seeing something that I'm not seeing.
Pat Driscoll, Jeff Clark, Tony Henderson, part of our outstanding veteran crew. We'll get some word here. And so word there that it will be a common foul. And Kyle, thanks for sharing that with us. But you know, when guys get wrapped up, that's been something they've been looking at for a while now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, there's always a point of emphasis to make sure you catch all that stuff.
How are your keys holding up here?
Well, you know what? BC didn't do a bad job defending the three-point shot, you know, in this game. But obviously it wasn't enough because of the way the defense was playing. But and in stopping hand, they did stop hand. You know, yeah, he's gotten a couple of baskets here lately, but not enough. They needed him to get started early to keep them in the game.
So 2 shots, double bonus. Russell back to the line. He co-leads the game with 18 points.
I mean, I never would have thought that VCU could shoot 7 for 25 from the three-point line and be up by 24 points. I would not have thought that.
Yeah, points off turnovers, they're up 19-8. BC has only made 2 threes themselves all game, 2 for 9.
They're not a good three-point shooting team, there's no doubt. They didn't shoot a lot of them last year.
And so Russell subs out. Shulga's back in, playing with 4 fouls. Hand to lead for Payne. It's something that's not going to happen in one game, but is there a need for BC to find more consistent point guard play? Bell gets the swipe and the 2-hand jam.
You know, they trap the pick and roll. They're very aggressive on pick and rolls. They trap that one and they just make the steal. I'm sorry, John, what was your question?
What are you seeing out of the point guard position for BC?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, they've got some dilemma in there. You know, they like Chaz Kelly, obviously, Josh Beadle. I think those are the only 2 that they really have. Because, you know, Payne has given them a little bit of life. I don't know how true a point guard that he is. That's probably one of the big issues they have.
Inventing an air ball, weak side, McFarland, put back miss. Bell's got it. VCU's been relentless on the boards. Pretty behind the back move. Jennings begging for the ball. Right down low to Furman, puts it up and fouled. 45-36 on the boards, and then this dunk.
It comes off this trap, and then Bell just finishes it.
Foul to Strong, his second. These teams have combined for 23 fouls in the second half.
It's been choppy.
Furman converts. 67% at the line last year's first free throw try of this year. Now, this could be the biggest blowout in the 11 different iterations of the Veterans Classic. The most lopsided margin of victory in the Veterans Classic to date, 26, when Houston drilled St. Joe's in 2022.
And that Houston team was really good.
Yeah, 2 teams in this event have gone on to the Final Four. Michigan State, North Carolina, back-to-back years. Tar Heel team that went to the title game. McFarland. Benning off target. Taken away and put home by hand.
You want to see relentless Houston. They're relentless.
And that comes about in large part because not only does everybody do it, but their best players do it. Jump ball here.
Oh, yeah, you don't go there if you're not going to do it. Because you know one thing about Kelvin, he's going to get after you.
Well, the baseline trigger to come here. This is the second ever meeting between these teams. They first collided in December of 2013. Shulga puts it up. He gets bumped. That was in Brooklyn. And that was a convincing VCU win by 19. This has been far uglier. So Deion Brown ready to sub back in for BC. Shulga might find a way to get to a double-double.
And, you know, these are the kind of wins, and I don't know what kind of year BC is going to have, but these are the kind of wins that the Atlantic 10 really needs. you know, they want to get multiple teams in the tournament. You got to win in the non-conference season.
Coming up next into the studio, our Inside College Basketball crew. They'll break down all the action from tonight's Game 1 and look ahead to Game 2 in this Veterans Classic, only here on CBS Sports Network. I've missed that music, Coach.
It's always nice when it comes back.
So with 2.5 to go, Bamisile probably done for the game?
Yeah, I would think.
He's got 18 and 10, his third career double-double. Also has 4 assists in this affair. BC put 67 on the board against the Citadel. Trying to get to 50 here against VCU. That rattles in for McFarland. Shulga. Help from Venning, swats it away. Under 2 minutes. And a noticeable limp there for Bell.
I was going to say probably get Shulga out of the game.
Well, Bell stays in, able to jog up the floor. McFarland with that last bucket now has 11 and 11. His 17th career double-double. 3-ball swish for Terrence Hill.
I got to tell you, I like these young guys too, John. I think they're going to be good. And they add a lot, even though it's going to be hard to play when, as you said, Zeb Jackson comes back.
Taves anticipated help that didn't come. Injuries generally seem to kind of find a way of solving those issues. It's just part of the reality of sport. Venning to the line, foul to Bell in his second. That's where depth can get tested. So Obi Okafor, the original walk-on who got a scholarship before last year and then tore his right ACL, comes in. Venning with only 5 points, make it 6. He gets him to 50.
Yeah, and you know what? Forget his points. Shot attempts. He couldn't get shots off.
And just 5 field goal tries on the game. Anticipates there, deflects out of bounds. And he's a 1,000-point scorer. And time at Morgan State, St. Bonaventure, now at BC. Hill off the bounce, stepping back.
And the other thing about them is they got guys that can go off the dribble by themselves. You know, they don't just have to run their stuff. They have guys that can do it on their own.
Taves inside, Venning will go to the line. Well, coming up for VCU, Merrimack and Loyola of Maryland. Then they'll be at the Shriners Children's Hospital Charleston Classic. It'll open with Seton Hall. Oklahoma State will be there. Miami, Vandy, Nevada, Drake.
And Nevada's a very, very good team. Seton Hall, hey, Shaheen Holloway, it's always going to be tough playing his teams. They also have a lot of new guys this year.
This is what's on the horizon for BC. Temple, then a visit to Loyola of Maryland, and then to the Cayman Islands. That sounds like a good trip.
Yeah. Cayman Islands are nice.
Venning miss, board to Brown, flick to hand. 3-ball, foul. So that'll go on Hill. Now, VCU has made a name for itself taking down big name teams. You know, the first, of course, came against Duke in the big dance, but they've had a handful of 20-plus point wins against the power conference teams. Beat Virginia Tech by 30 in 2013. Beat Wake Forest by 21 in 2010. And this game tonight, there's been no doubt. They've never trailed. BC has not had a single lead in the game.
Yeah, it was. I don't want to say it was over from the beginning, but it was over pretty quick.
In one wrinkle, it's impossible to know if it directly impacted things, but BC, a mile away at their hotel, hit horrendous traffic, did not arrive until less than 40 minutes before the scheduled tip time.
And look, I'm not going to say that VCU's not better, but there's no way that that didn't have some effect.
I mean, you didn't think this was going to happen tonight.
No.
Phillips for three. Air ball.
But you could see the experience in the VCU team clearly from the beginning of this game.
Final 30 seconds. Shot and game clock nearly identical. They can essentially hold for a look. Benning trying to shape up. Hand pops a contested three and misses. Out of bounds. And Ryan Odom still coaching hard, screaming, block out. Trying to continue that tone, even up a ton.
You want everything to be habits. That's your goal as a coach. You're always looking for perfection. You're never going to get it, but you got to try.
Benning, good spin end line. Help comes, fouled. Clock frozen at 11 and change.
It's amazing. Why are they fouling still? Why don't you just let them score there?
Well, they just got yelled at about blocking out, so.
Yeah, yes.
The foul to Bamboye, that's his fourth. So Benning now has 8 points, half have come at the line. 10 seconds.
They're going to foul again.
Now, game one of this year's Veterans Classic. The Rams run roughshod and blow out BC. What a convincing win, too, for Ryan Odom in year two. Back on the yard at the United States Naval Academy. Game one of the Veterans Classic in convincing fashion. VCU victorious, and their top point producer is with our own Gary Parrish and Phillip Russell.
20 points tonight for the transfer from UT Arlington. You didn't start a lot last season. That's why you were the WAC Sixth Man of the Year, but you're starting now. You seem comfortable. How comfortable are you?
Very comfortable. First off, I want to thank my teammates for, just giving me the confidence. And second off, I want to thank God. But if it weren't for them guys, I wouldn't have this much confidence. So I want to thank them guys.
Just a couple of years ago, you played in the NCAA tournament at Southeast Missouri State. Obviously, you're on the A-10 favorite now. That suggests that you're on another team headed for the big dance. You played 2 games now with your teammates. How good can this team be?
This team can be very good. I feel like this team can make a long run in the tournament.
I appreciate it, Phillip.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Appreciate you.